And they set to kick it away is Ralph Moshenko. And we're going to hit this game with a dead run. Vance Johnson and Gene Lang are back at the goal line. Moshenko sends it deep. Lang will field it, backpedaling out of the end zone. So the Denver Broncos, and a potent offense it is, on the way onto the playing field, led by, of course, the great Jim Elway in his third year now out of Stanford. Winder, Johnson, Steve Watson, the double tight end formation, Clarence Kay and James Wright. The Broncos offensive line, a veteran group, Studdard, Bishop, Billy Bryan, Paul Howard, and Ken Lanier. Johnson and Watson to the near side. In motion is Butch Johnson. And to give a little misdirection, Winder has it. He moves the ball across the 24 near the 25-yard line of the Charger defensive line, led by Keith Ferguson and Earl Wilson on the stop. Here's a look at that Charger line. Williams, Ian, and Keith Ferguson from this last Monday night's game in Los Angeles. The backers, King, Mike Green, Billy Ray Smith, Carlos Bradley starting for the injured Woody Lowe. And the defensive backs, a couple of rookies. John Hendy at one corner, Danny Walters, Gil Byrd, and at the free safety spot, another rookie, Jeffrey Dale, out of LSU. Will Height and Steve Sewell, the running backs, now out of the eye. On 2nd and 5, Elway play action coming near side, pursued by King. He can't stop him. The pass complete to Clarence Kay. Somewhat surprising, Jim Cephalo, the fact that Elway has not gone to his tight ends much this year.
No, they haven't thrown very much to the tight ends all year long. Earlier last night, Dan Reeves has said he wanted to try and keep John Elway in the pocket, but here he doesn't. This is what Elway does best, throwing on the run, coming across is Kay, and first down for the Denver Broncos. Again, a surprise, because Reeves says he wanted to keep Elway in the pocket.
You talk about the Bronco tight ends. They've really not had a stellar tight end since Riley Odom's called it quits.
No, they haven't, but Clarence Kay is thought to be the best blocking tight end in the NFL.
Up the middle is Steve Sewell, the rookie out of Barry Switzer country, Oklahoma. He moves it across the 40-yard line before Chuck Ian puts it into it.
The ball carrier, number 30, Steve Sewell.
Sewell in 85 doesn't have the big numbers per carry, just averaging a little under 3 yards a carry, but they like this kid.
Well, he got his share of work last week, running the ball quite frequently because of the injuries to Will Height, and also because Sammy Winder was out with the flu. Dan Reeves said yesterday once again that he wanted to run the football. He thinks he has to run to keep Dan Fouts and company off of the field.
2nd down and 6 from the 40-yard line. Elway pitch near side, halfback pass. Winder had a notion, but Watson was not freed up. Running step for step with Watson was Gil Byrd.
The key in this position here, of course, is to try to establish the running game. Sammy Winder has been having a fine year last year, an All-Pro, of course. Lee Williams is a guy, though, that they've got to be concerned with. If they're going to throw the football on this team, they've got to control Lee Williams. And here's an isolation on Williams, getting control of the line of scrimmage. He strings the ball, the play down the line, and forces Sammy Winder to tuck it away and run with the football instead of being able to throw it downfield.
From the 44-yard line, it is 3rd and 2 Denver. Motion is the tight end, Mike Barber. Elway with time now unloads. In and out of the hands of Barber. Almost intercepted by San Diego. Carlos Bradley starting for Woody Lowe. Had the ball in his chest and it popped free.
This is one of the biggest worries of a quarterback, is that tipped football. Mike Barber is a wonderful tight end, a great receiver just coming here from the Rams. But here he's hit right in the middle of the numbers. The ball bounces away and they get lucky there. He comes back and makes a nice play to strip Bradley of the football.
So the Broncos will have to kick it away, and here is Chris Norman averaging just over 43 yards a kick, his longest 61. And he'll be booting it to a pretty fair punt returner in Lionel James. They call him the Little Train. Norman, oh, look at this one. And James will let it go. It takes a San Diego bounce into the end zone. The Chargers will take it at their own 20-yard line, and here comes San Diego's potent offense. Dan Fouts, only his 2nd start since coming off the knee injury some 5 weeks ago. Fouts joined in the backfield by Lionel James, Tim Spencer, the other running back, the wide receivers, Joyner Chandler, the tight end, an exceptional tight end, Eric Severs. The offensive line, Lachey, the rookie out of Ohio State, Ed White, Don Masick, Dennis McKnight, and Sam Clappin, the chief. Take a look at this full house backfield, Jimmy.
It's a surprise. They came out with 3 running backs in the backfield, just 1 wide receiver.
But only one guy can get the football at a time, and this time it is Tim Spencer. He moves it out near the 24-yard line. The Denver Broncos of San Diego thought it faced an exceptional front 3 last Monday night in Los Angeles. How about this threesome? Chavis, Carter, and Rulon Jones. And the linebackers, they can get it done. Ryan Dennis and Steve Busick and Ken Woodard. The defensive backfield, Wright Smith, Robbins, and Harden. Now San Diego goes to the more traditional lineup, the pro set, the 2 wide receivers, Joyner and Chandler. The give, that is Gary Anderson. He tries to move the ball inside, turns it outside, dives ahead, across the chalk at the 30-yard line, and he has a first down.
Phil, that's the thing that Gary Anderson is going to give the San Diego Charger offense. He can run with the football extremely well. Here he takes the handoff and bounces outside. The job of the outside linebacker there, number 52, Woodard, is trying to contain that play, but Gary Anderson's speed allows him to get outside and gets a first down.
And you can thank Dennis McKnight for holding Barney Chavis off. San Diego, first down of the ball game with the ball nosing out across the 31 near the 32-yard line. Just underway here at Jack Murphy Stadium. 10 minutes, 32 seconds to play, no score. Out of the eye. Bounce play action. He wants to go downfield. Underthrows the coverage. Anderson's got it. And the reason he got it is Louis Wright fell down. He fumbled the football. And has Denver recovered? Indeed they have.
That was a little bit of a play-action pay they had going there, Phil. What they're going to try to do, of course, is to get the ball as much as they can to Gary Anderson. He's an exciting player. But here he gives up the football, costs it up on just the second play of the game, and that's the thing the Chargers have to stay away from. They actually fake the ball to Anderson, let him slip out into the flat. They get the football to him. You can see what kind of an exciting runner he is.
Ball's free thanks to the hit by Jim Ryan. Denver has the ball at the San Diego 39-yard line. Goes downfield. It is almost intercepted. The pass intended for Butch Johnson. Jeffrey Dale, Jimmy, almost didn't get turned around in time.
He almost did. A week ago, Phil, John Elway threw the ball downfield just 1 time the entire game against the Kansas City Chiefs. Today, it looks like they want to break that trend. He's going deep right off the bat.
There you see how important John Elway, how important John Elway is to that Bronco offense.
Well, Elway, when you look at it, he hasn't thrown a touchdown pass in the past few weeks, but he's winning. The Broncos are 4-0, and after all, that's the only thing he has to do.
Second down and 10 now from the 39. Play action Elway. Now chase down. Unloads. Wide open. It is Clarence Kay. A juggling act at the San Diego 22-yard line. Gilbert nails him.
What a catch by Clarence Kay. We said earlier that John Elway has not been utilizing his tight ends very much this year, but here another play-action pass. Clarence Kay is wide open in the middle of the field. Elway, using his mobility, finally finds him around. The problem with Kay is that he's too wide open. He wants to take off with the football, and where did it go? Oh, there it is. All right.
Tremendous concentration. He had to know there were defensive backs bearing down.
Now we'll take that catch for Clarence Kay.
First and 10 from the 22. 3 wide receivers for the Broncos. That's Mike Barber, the tight end in motion. The give to the near side. That's Winder. He turns the corner. He's at the 15-yard line and down there. Gilbert and Jeff Dale.
23, Sandy Winder.
We are scoreless here midway through the first period at Jack Murphy Stadium in San Diego. How about that final, Jimmy Cephalo? Your boys took a beating today.
Well, New England, it's always a tough place to play for the Miami Dolphins, and the Dolphins go down for the 2nd week in a row.
Pittsburgh came back to beat Cleveland 10-9. The Browns haven't won at Three Rivers Stadium ever.
16 straight defeats, by the way, there at Three Rivers for the Cleveland Browns.
You know, the last time the Browns won in Pittsburgh was old Forbes Field back in 1969. Chicago leading Green Bay in the 4th period. That game late. Boy, the Packers led that ball game much of the way.
Now, one of the touchdowns, by the way, was scored on a pass play to the refrigerator. He caught it coming out of the backfield, believe it or not.
Second down and 3 for Denver. They're trying to get on the scoreboard. Mike Barber, the tight end in motion to the left side. Winder will try and go left. He is being chased by Carlos Bradley, and the Chargers shut it down.
Bradley, his job in this play is to string the ball down to the line of scrimmage all the way to the sideline. Let somebody else make the play, but don't let that running back get around you. But he takes care of it all. He not only strings it out, he makes the play in the backfield for a negative play for the San Diego Charger defense.
So now it will be 3rd down and 9, and Bradley wants to come out, apparently saying something to the near side. Elway 2 of 4 for 28 yards as we take a look at Dan Reeves. 4 wide receivers for the Broncos. From the shotgun, Elway steps up, now throws sideline, and he throws it out of bounds. So the Chargers have held again when they have had to. 4th down, Denver, and Rich Carlos will come on.
Elway there had his pick of receivers 4 wide out. They tried to spread the defense of the San Diego Chargers. The Chargers have gone more to a man-to-man coverage, especially down in this end of the field. And in that case, they had their wide receivers covered extremely well.
For Carlos, it'll come from 39 yards away. He is 17 of 24 on the year. From the hold of Kubiak, it's down. Plenty of distance. And it is no good. Carlos's first attempt here today sails wide right. And the Chargers have dodged a bullet.
So it seems to be a good hold, and the kick, Landon King knows right away, though. He wasn't taking any chances whatsoever.
Yeah, we'd certainly like to welcome those of you who are watching the Miami, New England, and the Kansas City, Houston game. Bill Stone, along with Jimmy Cephalo. The Chargers with their 2nd possession of the ball game. Bounce. Severs is wide open. He has the football at the 48-yard line. Tom Lilly, 2nd-year free safety out of Florida, knocks Severs to the ground at the 48.
Here, Fouts goes back. He loves to throw to his tight ends, by the way. Kellen Winslow has been back in the lineup periodically, but Eric Severs is a wonderful tight end, a great receiver down the middle of the field, not afraid to catch the ball over the middle, and a big play for the San Diego Chargers.
Bounce, quick count. That's Gary Anderson on his feet near the midfield stripe. So Anderson is down. Let's go to Bob Costas. Jimmy, why is it always so tough for the Dolphins to win at Foxborough?
If I knew that, I'd still be playing.
Out of the full house backfield. Watch the reverse, and it is the reverse. Here comes Lionel James. But the Broncos, tenacious defense. Mike Harden, 6th-year corner out of Michigan, with help from Barney Chavis, both stayed home.
The San Diego Chargers have always been the innovators in the NFL. Look from the defensive standpoint of the game, the pursuit going one way, but with Lionel James lined up as a wide receiver, that alerted the defense of the Denver Broncos, and really no one was fooled. Now, James on that side of the field, he's usually a running back. Of course, they line him up as a wide receiver sometimes, but with that full house backfield, just another wrinkle of Don Coryell and that innovative San Diego Charger offense.
The Chargers have 4 running backs in uniform. All 4 were in the ballgame on that play. Joyner comes near side, now goes back to the right. Bounce, avoids the hit. The first man to reach him, now throws it away. I think he's going to be ruled down in the grasp of Rulon Jones.
Rulon Jones came into the game as the co-leader in the AFC with 8 sacks, and that is going to be one of the keys of today's ball game. Whether or not they can go ahead and try and protect Fouts with the pressure of Rulon Jones, there you see Denver's 2nd in the AFC with 31 sacks.
Make it 32 now. 5:52 to play first period. Moshenko on to kick it away. Vance Johnson back at his own 15-yard line. Boy, the Broncos coming in here on the wins of a 4-game winning streak, trying to make it 5 in a row. The rookie out of Michigan State, good snap, and he gets the punt away. Johnson will get away from it as the ball goes out of bounds near the 24-yard line. And a flag is down now at the midfield stripe. Gil Bird is standing out there talking to an official. I think somebody's going to get whistled, perhaps for unsportsmanlike conduct. Gil Bird and Terry Lewis, a rookie out of Michigan State. Let's listen. Well, a personal foul is against Denver, and it's Roger Jackson, 4th-year free safety out of Bethune-Cookman. Well, that punt will even be better than first expected.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 28 receiving team after the play. 1st and 10.
Gordon McCarter, the referee, handling the duties down on the playing field today. So now you take the ball from the 24 back inside the 15 near the 12.
A week ago, the Denver Broncos had a great field position all day long. They wind up scoring on their first 5 possessions against the Chiefs to take a big lead. This is what they want to avoid, backed up in their own territory.
First down from the 12. Sammy Winder, the lone setback to the left of your screen. In motion is James Wright. The give to Winder. He moves it out near the 14. And boy, Carlos Bradley goes in helmet first.
Carlos Bradley has been playing for the injured Woody Lowe and has been doing a fine job. Normally, he comes in passing situation in the nickel. He is a very good guy to, if you want to have somebody covering a backfield out of the backfield.
Yeah, we gave you an incorrect score a moment ago. Washington over Atlanta, 44-10. Elway, no secret where that ball was going. Sammy Winder on a give straight off left tackle following Keith Bishop and Dave Studdard. Other early games around the National Football League. Houston over the Kansas City Chiefs, 23-10. Boy, John Mackovic's got to be looking around for a place to work.
He's had a tough season. It seems like they were going to set the world on fire early on, but the 3rd game of the season turned things around for them, and they have not been the same since.
The Giants over Tampa Bay. Cincinnati down Buffalo 23-17. 3rd down and just about a yard. 4:21 to play first period. Winder trying to run a sweep, and you wonder why. Lee Williams, number 99, shoots through and knocks Winder off his feet.
The Broncos have wanted to establish that running game. They think they've got to be able to run to win this football game, but this Charger defense, they've been much maligned. But take a look at this. Take a look at this side, and Lee Williams coming in. He makes his charge inside and very quickly is right on Sammy Winder, and Winder really had no room to get situated and to try to take himself upfield.
But you wonder why the Broncos would run wide on 3rd and a little bit less than 1. Norman, low snap, he handles it cleanly, and he sails another one. Lionel James at the 28-yard line. He goes at the 29, near the 30. For Norman, a 54-yard punt. And the clock will stop with 3 minutes and 25 seconds to play in the first period. The Jack Murphy Stadium in San Diego, Phil Stone, along with Jimmy Cephalo. Of course, Jimmy Cephalo for years made his living as a wide receiver with the Miami Dolphins. It has to feel a lot less painful up here, doesn't it?
Oh, it's a lot more fun standing up here with you than being down the field with some of those people, I can tell you that.
You know, you talk about this matchup, the Denver Broncos and the San Diego Chargers. For the Chargers to be effective today, Jimmy, I think the offensive line is going to have to play a whale of a game to keep that defensive line of the Broncos out of Dan Fouts' face.
Well, a week ago, Dan Fouts was sacked 6 times by the Los Angeles Raiders. One of the key matchups we're going to have to continue to watch today is Jim Lachey against Rulon Jones.
Lachey, of course, the left tackle for San Diego. Rulon Jones, the right defensive end. Fouts and company on 1st and 10. Short drop, unload, sideline pattern intended for Wes Chandler, and he cannot hold the football. Mike Harden, good pursuit. One final in the NFC. The Bears came back and knocked off the Green Bay Packers. A very stingy Packer defensive unit today. As Jim Cephalo mentioned a moment ago, the refrigerator, William Perry, who had run 6 plays out of the backfield this year, caught a touchdown pass today.
He'll be throwing one next week. I have that feeling. They're going to pitch it to him, let him toss it down.
You suppose he'll ever challenge that threesome you saw on the screen a moment ago? Tarkenton, Unitas, and Fouts. Well, Lachey is up on his feet. Comes out of his 3-point stance. Pardon me, that is Sam Claflin. Chargers walking back.
77 offense.
Sam Claflin, sort of the forgotten man in the Kellen Winslow trade. Winslow and Claflin coming to the Chargers.
Number 77 offense, still 2nd down.
In essence, it was a trade of draft choices with the Cleveland Browns. The Browns came away from that draft with a guy by the name of Willis Adams. The Chargers come away with a guy named Winslow and Claflin. Doesn't hardly seem fair, does it?
No, it doesn't at this point.
In motion, Holohan. Now he turns it upfield. The give is to Gary Anderson. He is into the Bronco defensive secondary near the 33-yard line and down by Steve Busick.
Gary Anderson has been trying to get acclimated to the San Diego Charger offense after coming over from the USFL. Here, they're getting the ball to him many times, throwing it to him, and here is the pitch coming upfield. He's a tough runner, but here again, it looks like he nearly loses the football.
The Broncos, 6 defensive backs into the game. Harden, Lilly, Jackson, Robbins, and Wright. Chargers on 3rd and 7. They're 0 for 1 in the 3rd down conversion department today. The pass is out. Lionel James has it. A flag is down in the offensive backfield of San Diego, and it's going to be holding. And who do you suppose it's against?
Well, if I was a betting man, I would think that Jim Lachey is trying to keep Rulon Jones out of the backfield. Lachey, just the rookie, and he had his hands full a week ago with that man from the Los Angeles Raiders that we all know well and love, Lyle Alzado.
Holding number 74 offense. Repeat, 3rd down.
You guessed it.
Well, it's amazing. You sit up here in the booth and you become just a genius. Why didn't I know those things when I was playing football?
Of course, Lachey, he has to be basking in what his teammates did yesterday back in Columbus, Ohio. The Buckeyes knocking off top-ranked Iowa.
Of course, you weren't very happy with that.
Oh, I wasn't happy with that a bit. Lachey and I have something in common. And, of course, the Rose Bowl. Right now, Ohio State has to be the odds-on favorite to get there. And you'll see it right here on NBC. Bounce 3rd in a bunch. Up in the air, Lionel James. Oh, what a catch! What a catch!
Lionel James is the smallest player in the NFL, but you couldn't tell by it on that play. He's a tough little guy coming down the middle of the field, one of the toughest catches for anyone to make, let alone somebody who's only 5'7" tall. Here he goes up over the top of number 77, Carl Mecklenburg, to make the catch and get the ball back into position where there's a 1st down for the Chargers.
And a big first down it is from the 48-yard line. Play action to Anderson. Bounce looking downfield. He's got Joyner, and Joyner cannot hold him. Oh, does he take a hit? Tony Lilly, and Joyner is not going to get up.
Watch this hit on Charlie Joyner. Again, over the middle of the field. Joyner has to extend himself up in the air, the position you don't want to be as a wide receiver. And number 22, Tony Lilly, a tough hitter. Make sure that he does not come up with the catch. And again, once you extend yourself, you become very vulnerable up in the middle of the air. You have absolutely no control. And that's the position a wide receiver never wants to find himself in.
I remember a game back in 1979, Jimmy Cephalo. It was a great game between these two ball clubs. And Charlie Joyner, what a night he had. We'll talk about it no more. Joyner walked off the field under his own power. He's okay. Took a pretty good kidney shot from Tony Lilly. 2nd down and 10 Chargers from the Broncos 48. Anderson tries the right side. He's got running room to the 40-yard line. Dives near the 39. A flag sails in. Andre Townsend and Randy Robbins combined to stop Anderson. Big gain for the rookie. And it's going to be offensive holding against San Diego. 1:18 to play, first period. Let's go to New York. Making believers out of a lot of people.
Someone that big and moves that quick should be outlawed from the NFL.
1:14 to play, first period. A penalty against San Diego for holding. It is now 2nd down and 12 for Fouts and company. Just shy of the midfield stripe. 4 wide receivers for the Chargers. The Broncos counter with 6 defensive backs. And the give right up the middle. Lionel James on his feet and stopped at the 43-yard line. Roger Jackson and Tony Lilly on the stop.
Lionel James has been used in just about every capacity you could imagine. One of the best all-purpose receivers, runners you'll find in the NFL. The defense, I think, is confused of the Denver Broncos in a couple of ways. Lionel James has been used as a receiver, as a running back, and in a number of ways. You talk about confusion. Take a look out. Look, here comes Rulon Jones. Who's he tackling? He's got a hold of number 60. That's Dennis McKnight.
Bounce, backpedaling. Scans the field. Now releases the near side. That's Lionel James. What a move. He's inside the 25-yard line and out of bounds near the 15. The tackle he broke was Randy Robbins.
this move by Lionel James. After he catches the football, he is as dangerous a runner as you will find in the entire league. He's in the backfield, flips through the line of scrimmage, and winds up having one-on-one coverage against Randy Robbins. He puts that move on and gets down the field. Now, that's what you talk about with the San Diego Charger offense. They force a team to put 6 defensive backs in the game. Randy Robbins against Lionel James. James wins that matchup.
And Chandler, big block on Steve Wilson, allowed James to pick up another 5, maybe 6 yards. Play action to Anderson. Bounce looks right now, wants to come back left. Wes Chandler alone in the end zone, but Fouts overthrew him.
Chandler was questionable coming into today's game. He had a cut opened up on his heel a few weeks ago. Horsing around after practice, as a matter of fact, running a pass pattern. Required 10 or 11 sutures. Played last week and had a great deal of swelling all week long. Saw very little action, but he looked on that play as if he's healthy enough to play in this game today.
In fact, that injury you speak of, Jimmy Cephalo, just missed severing the Achilles tendon. 4 of 6, 86 yards, 8 seconds to play here. And the first period from Jack Murphy Stadium. James in motion, the I formation by the Chargers. Play action, second man through. Bounce, go, look at this. Look at this. Wes Chandler, nobody in the vicinity. Safe to say somebody blew a coverage.
I think it's safe to say that too, and I also think it's safe to say that Wes Chandler looks very healthy today. They put Lionel James in motion going to the other side. Fouts looks that way, and they draw the defensive coverage to that side, and all alone wide open is Wes Chandler. It was a zone defense. Somebody obviously missed their assignment.
Bob Thomas is on. He sends it through, and San Diego. Big drive here in the late going of the first period. They strike first. It's San Diego 7.
Play of the San Diego Chargers took 7 plays, a total of 70 yards, 3 minutes on the clock, and stopped by several penalties the Chargers were able to overcome.
Gene Lang, he moves it across the 25 and out of bounds at the 26. Miles McPherson just activated for today's game on the stop. And that'll be the last play of the first period here in San Diego. We'll be back with the second period. Football League, how about this AFC Western Division, Jimmy? Nobody since the start of the season has ever been in sole possession of first place.
Well, when you take a look at the teams today, the Chargers are down the bottom with a 3-5 record, but would anyone ever think that the Chargers would be out of a football game? Certainly not. Certainly not today with Dan Fouts throwing as well as he has been.
Not only are they not out of this ball game, it is San Diego on top of Denver 7-0 as we begin the second period of play. Elway. Deep drop, now unloads, and he takes a shot. Oh, it's almost picked off. Picked off by Mike Green, but he can't hold it. The intended receiver, Clarence Kay.
Well, that's the one thing that John Elway has stayed away from in the previous several weeks. He has not thrown an interception the past couple of weeks. Here he sets back straight in the pocket. He slipped a little bit as he was throwing. He seemed like he was trying to avoid the rush that was taking place. And as you said, number 58, Mike Green, steps in front of Clarence Kay, and that could have been disaster for the Denver Broncos.
Sammy Winder, Gerald Wilhite, both checked into the ball game. Wilhite in the slot. And he gets the ball coming back around, a little misdirection. And the Chargers aren't going to have anything to do with it. Mike Green again is there.
Take a look at Mike Green on this play. As you said, no one was fooled by the San Diego Chargers. One of the strengths of the Denver Broncos is all the motion they get. But it seems like Mike Green did not go with any of the motion, but the misdirection did not work. And he comes up and makes the stop on number 23, Sammy Winder.
4 wide receivers now for Denver. Wilhite is the lone setback. He is right beside Elway from the shotgun. Elway goes to him, and he cannot grab the football. Boy, the Chargers' defensive secondary playing the Denver wide receivers very, very tight. And for the first time in a long time, the Charger defensive line putting pressure on an opposing quarterback. Listen to this crowd as it comes to its feet. The defensive charges of this San Diego unit heads for the sideline. Chris Norman, he has 2 boomers today. He is on for his 3rd punt of the day. Chargers should be assured, Jimmy, of superb field position again. Low snap. A low kick. And James will not have a return as the ball takes a sideways bounce out of bounds at the 27-yard line. So Fouts on the offense will come on to try and do more damage. Go Dan Fouts, 1st and 10 to the 27. Right over the top, Eric Sievers has it. And Randy Robbins has Sievers, but not before the tight end dives out across the 36 near the 37.
And Fouts loves to go to his tight ends. Even after Kellen Winslow was out with a knee injury, Eric Sievers stepped in along with Pete Holohan, who probably has the best hands on this San Diego Charger offensive football team. And Fouts likes to go to that tight end. Eric Sievers with 30 receptions already on the year.
Sievers 2 catches today for 37 yards, and it's measurement time here at Jack Murphy Stadium as Fouts looks on. Oh, very close, about 1.5 inches, 2 inches. Jimmy, you alluded to Kellen's knee injury sustained a year ago against the Los Angeles Raiders. It was a devastating injury, the sort of injury you certainly associate with a trauma type of injury. He is just now beginning to get back in the fold. You suffered a knee injury in '82. Is it tough as a receiver to come back and play the mental side of the game?
Mentally, it's tougher to come back from an injury like that than it is physically, actually.
Anderson, he's got the 1st down and much more out near the 45. Is it something that stays with you mentally? Do you think about it when you come to the line?
Well, I think it has a lot to do with the competitive nature of the individual performer. If you give the same knee injury to 10 players, 5 of them will come back and 5 of them will not. There's Kellen Winslow coming into the football game right now. They said a year ago that his knee might have been one that would have ended his career. But yet, nearly a year to the day of the injury, Kellen Winslow was back in uniform, and that tells you a lot about his competitive nature.
1st down, San Diego from the 44. At staggered cadence, Lionel James is staggered by Rulon Jones.
And Rulon Jones was in the face of Lionel James as soon as he took the handoff. Can you imagine the difference in size between these 2 people? Lionel James must have been thinking he was smothered by a mouse. Look at this. He looks up, and sure enough, the biggest orange jersey you can imagine. Jim Lachey is fighting him off. But Lachey, as a rookie right now, is being taught a lesson by Mr. Rulon Jones.
Now, Lachey has done a credible job prior to that play.
He has. This far, Rulon Jones had just 1 pressure on the quarterback.
Fouts. Broncos show a blitz, and now they're coming. Fouts has time. Chargers picked it up nicely. The pass completed to Charlie Joyner. And he was hit hard by Mike Harden.
The thing you do not want to do against the San Diego Chargers is give Dan Fouts any time. He has one of the best football minds ever to play this game. And here, you give him enough time, he'll find the right receiver. Charlie Joyner coming across the middle, man-to-man coverage. And sure enough, another reception.
And Harden couldn't have played Joyner any tighter.
No, he couldn't. But that's when you have the 2 veterans of Charlie Joyner and Dan Fouts. It's tough to break up a play like that.
Joyner, of course, left in the later stages of the 1st period with that injury. Now Joyner's in the backfield. Dan's looking for him. Wide open. Joyner has the ball.
What else can Dan Fouts and Charlie Joyner do as well as Don Coryell? Again, the innovation, you see, they confuse the Charger defense by putting Charlie Joyner in motion. They come out and they throw him the ball. He gets down the sideline. Take a look at the block down here by Wes Chandler coming back to spring Charlie Joyner. There he is for another 5 or 6 yards.
A 1st down for the Chargers at the Bronco 29-yard line. Lionel James goes in motion to the near side. Bounce. Steps up, unloads. Again, that's his favorite. And it's close to another 1st down. Charlie Joyner hit instantly by Rick Dennison. Dennison, incidentally, missed the last 2 games with a very severe ankle injury. Charlie
Joyner is closing in, by the way, on that all-time receiving yardage list held by Don Maynard. You see he's only about 600 yards away. Also, as the all-time NFL receiver, needs just several more catches to hit the 700-yard mark.
How many more games does Charlie Joyner have?
He seems like he's ageless. Year in and year out, he does it again and again.
Here comes James in motion again. Flags are down. Fouts is going to throw the ball. James has it. And he is wrestled to the turf by Louis Wright. Flag was thrown near the Charger offensive backfield. Illegal shift. So nullify the catch by Lionel James. Clock is stopped. 10:41 to play in the first half. A lot of interesting scores around the league today. Seattle leading the Raiders up at the Kingdome 3-0. The Jets over Indianapolis 14-0. If that score stands, let's listen.
Number 26 offense. 5-yard penalty. Repeat the down.
That's against James. If that score stands, the Jets will hold on to their one-game lead in the East. San Francisco leading the Eagles 7-3 at Candlestick. And the Rams over New Orleans 7-0. Rams have won their last 4 meetings. Bounce 9 of 12, 152 yards, and the 18-yard scoring strike to Wes Chandler. Play action. That's going for it. Chandler goes up high and cannot come down with the pigskin.
And it's completely intended for Wes Chandler. Covering for the Broncos, number 22.
Kendall Winslow, as we said before, is such a great competitor. When he first came into this league, he was thought to be such a wonderful blocker. And here he is coming inside to help with the protection of Dan Fouts. That's something that the Chargers want to do also. If they have to use a tight end to block or a running back in certain situations, they'll do so and just send 2 or 3 people into a pattern downfield.
And you talk about the receiving corps, Jimmy. Chandler, Tremaine Johnson, Charlie Joyner, Eric Sievers, Kellen Winslow. The man in motion right there leads this team, Lionel James. But it is Anderson with the football. He turns the corner and is bumped out of bounds hard near the 20-yard line by Tony Lilly.
Phil, Dan Fouts has to feel like he's at a candy store because he has so many people to go to. In fact, there are probably as many skilled people here with more talent on this Charger team to fill 3 or 4 clubs along the NFL line.
You know, Dan told me prior to the 1980 playoff game, perhaps the greatest playoff game ever staged at the Orange Bowl against your Dolphins. He told me prior to that game, he said, Phil, I am probably one of the most envied athletes in all of sport. Not for what I do, but because who I have to throw to.
That'll make you a great quarterback all the time, won't it?
The Chargers 3rd and 10. They are 3 of 4 in the third down department. They need a bundle here. Fouts pumps once, pumps again. Throws it up. Oh, what a catch! Hallahan cannot hold it. That might have been the catch of the year had Pete held on to that ball.
As we said earlier, Houlihan is thought to have the best hands on this San Diego Charger team, and he proved it there, extending himself downfield and nearly coming up with a great catch. He was lined up tight. What they did was send a wide receiver down to clear out his zone, and here comes Houlihan diving to the corner of the end zone, and in traffic nearly comes up with a catch. And we'll take a look and see how close he came to it. Up in the air, look at this, one-handed coming down, and it was only after he hit the ground that forced him to give up the football. Great concentration.
Bob Thomas from 37 yards away. He has got it. So the Chargers with 10:03 to play here in the second period, lead it 10-0. Ralph Mojenko is set to kick it away to Vance Johnson and number 33, Gene Lang, standing back at their own goal line. And the ball is in the air. It is a little squibber. And it'll go out of bounds at the 6-yard line. The Chargers will kick again. The clock stops with 9:58 to play.
Going or not, Gerald Wilhite missed Lee Williams. Initially, he had to backtrack, but that way he went around the pocket. He just labeled it.
Rich Carlos. This will come from 51 yards away. He has not converted yet from this distance. 0 for 1 this afternoon. Oh, look at this. A spiral. No chance at all. The defense is held. The Chargers will have the ball with 6:59 to play in the first half.
It all since he's taken over as the defensive coordinator for the San Diego Chargers 4 weeks ago. They have really been a changed team. They've given up, they've had more sacks and given up less points than they had with their predecessor, Tom Bass.
Chargers 1st and 10, Fouts. Now he unloads. That is Gary Anderson, his first reception of the day. He moves it across the 46 near the 47. Jim Ryan and Louis Wright converge on the stop.
In this particular play, it's an I formation. They send both backs underneath, trying to confuse the defense of the Chargers. They really don't. It's a zone, actually. Underneath is Anderson. You see what he does so well, running with the football after a catch.
No surprise, he didn't miss a game in 3 USFL seasons. 4th on the all-time list in rushing, 8th all-time receiver in that league. Broncos showing blitz. Gibbs right up the middle. That is Timmy Spencer. Classified as a rookie out of Ohio State.
As you say, classified as a rookie out of Ohio State. This Charger team has more USFL former players on there than any team in the NFL.
4 yards.
And they have 4, and all 4 of them are contributing. That's a good point, Jimmy. All 4 are contributing very, very much to the success of this Charger team, or the ultimate success of this team. 3 and 5 thus far on the year, but consider the fact that Dan Fouts missed 4 games. 2nd down and 7. Let's listen to Fouts. Little slant. Look at that. Chandler. A flag goes in, and it may be a face mask against Louis Wright. Hold everything. Gordon McCarter and company. We'll talk things over. The way the flags came in from 2 different angles, I thought perhaps a face mask or a hold, and it is. It is a defensive holding against Louis Wright. That's got to be a tough call, Jimmy. You're allowed that chuck within 5 yards.
You are. It all depends on what you grab onto, though. That's the whole key.
Yeah, you had to play across the field from Dan Fouts. Of course, not directly, being a wide receiver, but what were your thoughts at the time?
Well, I'll tell you what. I thought at the time was you better score a lot of points if you're playing the Chargers. Louis Wright I played against quite often. Here, you can't have any better coverage than that. Now, again, the flag was thrown in there, so Louis obviously somewhere down the line had a little bit of West Chandler's jersey.
It's a 1st down for San Diego. That's pretty smart.
Holding, number 20, defense. Penalty is declined. 1st and 10.
How about the savvy of the 13-year veteran Dan Fouts? He wanted the chain gang to come on to find out whether or not to accept the penalty. It was a 1st down. The Chargers have now picked up 4 or more yards on 1st down 6 of the 14 times. Anderson tried to get past Steve Busick, couldn't do it. Barney Chavis also on the tackle.
Now, Phil, you would think after all those years, Charlie Joyner would be content to go out there and catch a football now and again, but he wants to win a football game. He's out here blocking. Look at him on Louis Wright. We used to call it chicken fighting. You just get up and you chicken fight for a while. But Charlie Joyner is a competitor, not just a pass catcher, but a blocker and a complete player as well.
Now, as a wide receiver, did you enjoy blocking, honestly?
No, I went out there to catch footballs. I didn't catch very many, but I went out there with that plan.
Chandler's in motion. And Fouts wants to get it to Wesley. He cannot hold on.
You have to wonder whether or not the sun played any part in that ball not being completed. Wes Chandler cut long before Dan Fouts made that play, made the throw. That's the timing between these two people. They've been playing together now for a number of years and can really make it happen.
And you can bet Chandler will go back into that huddle and say something to Dan. Hey, Dan, we got to pick another part of the field to throw passes to, partner.
Yeah, that's a tough part right now. That's the sun field.
Jermaine Johnson and Charlie Joyner are to the top of your screen. Dan unloads in a hurry. It is intercepted. Mike Harden has the ball. And Joyner throws them to the grass at the 44-yard line. Fouts' 8th interception of the year, his first today.
It looked as if Fouts was going underneath to Lionel James, but the ball sailed a little bit on Fouts and went downfield for the interception by Harden. Straight drop back once again. He's got all of his wide receivers in the football game. He crosses the backs underneath, and again, in that case, he was going for number 88, Pete Holohan, and overthrew him. Here you see Charlie Joyner working downfield. And that's exactly what happened. The ball was intended for 88, Pete Holohan, and the ball was overthrown. Joyner coming back and making the tackle.
The Chargers have dominated this ball game. They lead at 10-0 with 4:32 to play in the first half. Elway goes downfield. That's Watson. He's got it at the 32, moves it to the 29, and knocked off his feet there by John Hendy, a rookie out of Long Beach State. Watson, hard to believe. Look at that touchdown. Only one thus far, and we're past the halfway point, Jimmy.
It is hard to believe. They've been spraying the ball around quite a bit, and that's the reason for Watson's drop-off and touchdown percentage. But here he comes across the middle. Again, it's not an easy catch for a wide receiver. He had to know that the defensive backs were standing there waiting for him. But look at the strength of Elway's arm, being able to fit that ball in.
The Broncos with 3 receivers who have caught 20 or more passes. The Chargers have 4 receivers with over 30 catches. Little end around. No, Elway holds on. Look at this. It could be intercepted, and it is. Jeffrey Dale.
Johnson, he's the guy that everybody's worried about with his great speed. They're trying to get the ball down to Sammy Winder, and Elway seems to put a little bit too much air under the ball, letting it set up, and Jeffrey Dale, after making the catch, makes a superior run, 36 yards on the return, and the San Diego Charger defense comes right back with a turnover of their own.
For Elway, his 10th interception of the year. 3:34 to play, first half. 3 wide receivers. Could it be the end around again? No. A flag is down. Anderson has the ball. They set up with the identical formation that they gave the ball to Lionel James too early in the first period.
Well, there's a trade-off there. Either Lionel James goes down and blocks the defensive back, or he goes in motion to fake a reverse, and the defensive back follows him. Either way, he gets him out of the play.
Oh, my. It's offsides against Denver.
And as we said earlier, Phil, Denver is a very, very fine football team.
Number 75 lined up offside. 5-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
And defensively, in the AFC, they are right now 7th. They are very high ranked as far as their total defense is concerned, 6th in the AFC. And this is what they've been staying away from. They've been staying away from mistakes as far as penalties are concerned, and they've been able to pass defense very well, although today they're having trouble with Dan Fouts.
A lot of teams in this league over the past 13 years have had their problems with number 14. Again, out of that big full house backfield, there is Gary Anderson. That is a locomotive moving to the 35-yard line. Randy Robbins stuck his helmet in. A first down for San Diego. Clock continues to run. 2:59, 2:58.
And you've got to give credit to the left side of the San Diego offensive line. Watch him in there. You've got Masick, number 62. And you've got Lacey, the guy we were talking about earlier, the rookie on the team. And how about Ed White, after 17 years as a veteran in this league, opening the hole for Gary Anderson. And protecting very well for Fouts all afternoon as well.
Now you have to believe Lachey learned something last Monday night from Lyle Alzado. He does not want to duplicate that learning procedure today against Rulon Jones. Fouts play action. And this time Rulon beats Lachey. Rulon Jones, a tremendous defensive end. I tell you, they've got a bookend pair in Denver.
Well, he was the AFC's Defensive Player of the Month for the month of October. That's his 9th sack, and that coming into today would put him as a tie for the lead in the AFC. As you see, he beats Lachey to the inside, and Fouts really never does have a chance, even with that play action as you go. Sacks on the day. Denver has 2. San Diego is yet to come up with a quarterback sack.
Al Fouts spent a lot of time at the Coliseum last Monday night looking at the light standards there. 6 times to be exact. And he's been down twice today. Fouts. That's Anderson. He turns it upfield. Busick. With help from Tom Jackson. We have reached the 2-minute warning here at Jack Murphy Stadium in San Diego. And a surprise on the scoreboard. An interesting first half here at Jack Murphy Stadium. But don't count the Broncos out. Not by any stretch of the imagination. Bounce on 3rd and 7. Oh, Anderson could break it. Jimmy, the personality of this San Diego Charger offense would have dictated a pass play.
It would have, but it's changed drastically since gaining Anderson coming in. Look at the blocking up on front from that side, from Dennis McKnight, Sam Clappin, and Eric Severs going downfield. Ed White leading all around, too. But Gary Anderson gives his team a new dimension. He's able to come out of the backfield. He's a great receiver, and he's a slashing-type runner.
And he just gave his teammates a first down at the 10-yard line. First and goal, San Diego. A minute 18 to play. Here comes Anderson again. Not much, but he makes the most of a bad situation. Moves the ball almost to the 8-yard line before Jim Ryan stops him. Clock stops with a minute 12. San Diego calls the timeout. How about that score? Who would have ever believed?
That is a surprise. The Raiders have not won 6 in a row since 1980. Doesn't look like they'll do it today.
We'll be back in a moment.
If you just ask for a light beer,
Give me a light.
you never know what you'll get.
Their ball clubs 3 and 5. Quite frankly, I'm a little surprised this many San Diegans decided to come out and take in this ball game, particularly after last Monday night.
Well, these Chargers are such an exciting team to watch. It doesn't matter what their record is. Here's an interesting statistic. The defense of the Broncos have allowed only 4 rushing touchdowns this season. When you get down here this close, though, you have to wonder if the Chargers will try and run the football any longer. He loves to go to his tight ends in this situation, and I wouldn't be surprised if Kellen Winslow doesn't become the target for maybe an attempt at his first touchdown pass in more than a year.
That's a good point, Jimmy. And he's also got Eric Severs into the ball game. This is definitely tight end country for this Charger ball club. It is 2nd down and goal from the 8-yard line. The Denver Broncos would love to shut down this Charger offense right here. They're down 10-0. Joyner is in motion. Putting it up. Intended for Wes Chandler, and the Chargers are on the board again. Chandler gets behind Mike Martin. It was no contest. Chandler playing at about 85%. The coaches didn't think he would play today. Wes Chandler said on Wednesday, I don't care what the coaches say, gentlemen, I'll be in uniform and ready to go.
And he did it against Mike Martin, who's been playing very well. He had 4 deflections last week and an interception earlier today.
Bob Thomas. He sends it whistling through the posts. The clock stops with a minute 7 to play. Boy, the Chargers.
When you get down in close now, here's a play that probably Dan Fouts has made a standard around the NFL. You simply drop back 3 or 4 steps and let it go to the corner of the end zone. It's odd that Mike Martin was beaten that way because he has the end of the end zone to help him. He doesn't have to worry about the stretch of the field only from his position to the sideline. Yet Chandler got behind him very easily.
And we talked at the top of our telecast about how tough it is to win in the AFC West. And you want to know why? Take a look at these.
As you see, Kansas City lost today. They're at 3 and 6. Now, it is an amazing conference to play, and right now it is probably the strongest in all of the NFL. San Diego, although they're 3 and 5 and down the bottom, are capable any week of not just winning, but winning very big. Their defense is starting to come together. Of course, they've made the change with Adolph as their defensive coordinator, and that has done very well for them thus far. As you see in their divisional record so far, Denver is 2-0. They have to play 6 of their next 8 games against AFC West opponents.
17-0 San Diego. There's a man right there who, like everybody in the Mile High City, quite frankly, cannot believe what has transpired. The Chargers with 271 total yards. Denver, 105. There's a squiver. That's Lang. Knocked off his feet at the 26-yard line by Gary Nelson.
Phil, what this early lead does to the game plan of the Denver Broncos is that they wanted to come in here and control the ball by running it. They wanted to keep Fouts off the field, but now being down by 17 points, that game plan has to go out the window. And if they want to get back into it, they're going to have to throw the football.
Yeah, they wanted to run the ball, but they've had no success, Jimmy. 21 total yards on the ground. What a difference a week has made. Last week, they ran for 206 against KC. Elway looking deep, throwing long. Almost intercepted again by Jeffrey Dale. He has one today. Clint Sampson, the intended receiver. Of course, Sampson, for 4 years, ran patterns on this natural turf surface here in San Diego as a member of the San Diego State Aztec Ball Club. The Jets doing a number on Indianapolis, 35-3. Certainly the Jets will hold on to their top spot in the East. San Francisco leading Philadelphia. Likewise, Rams over New Orleans, second period. Here in San Diego, it's 17-0. 50 seconds to play first half. Elway. He's got Will Height. And Carlos Bradley has Will Height. At the 40, make that the 36-yard line. Now the Broncos into their 2-minute offense. Denver has 3 timeouts remaining here in the first half. Pass complete. That's Steve Sewell, the rookie out of Oklahoma. And now the Broncos want to stop the clock. They'll use one of their 3. Jimmy, when you were playing, Air Coryell was an evolutionary type of offense. In the last few years, 1979, 80, 81, the Chargers won the AFC Western Division. But since then, they have not been as effective in the win column. Why?
Well, I think the reason for it is that when you were a defensive team playing against the San Diego Chargers during that time, you prepared for them differently than you had to for any other team in the league because they were so innovative. They were the first team to go with 3 wide receivers, the first team to go with 4 wide receivers, the first team to go with 3 tight ends, take all the backs out of the game. So as a defensive team, you had no idea how to prepare for them. And they became the standard by which offensive teams set their game plans. Now you prepare for a team in and week out the same way as you prepared for the Chargers 5 and 6 years ago because everybody is doing it.
28 seconds to play in the first half. The Chargers with a 17-0 lead, but it appeared as if the Denver Broncos were going to get in the board in the second period. Elway threw the interception. The Chargers came back and scored the second touchdown of the ball game. And San Diego leads at 17-0. Both teams with 2 timeouts remaining. 28 seconds to play. From the shotgun. Elway. He can run it, and he'll do it. Down at the 46-yard line. You know, you talk about the get key play, that Elway interception. It really, what did it? It really did. The San Diego defense has played well all day. That was certainly the bright spot of the first half.
It seemed that the Bronco offense was beginning to change the momentum for their team. And here they are driving down the field. Elway comes back. It seems for a second that he had Will Height open down the side. But again, he put a little bit too much air under the ball. And sure enough, Dale steps in and not only turns the ball over, but gives the Chargers good enough field position to allow Dan Fouts and the offense to go in and score more points. Key play in the game thus far.
Well, it's been 2 touchdown passes from Fouts to Wes Chandler. And a Bob Thomas field goal from 36 yards away, and that has put that man's team in a hole.
But the great thing about John Elway, though, is with the strength of his arm and the skill people that he has, they're never out of a football game, especially this early in the game.
Now, you look at Denver, the second quarter has really been their quarter, Jimmy. They've scored 84 points in the second period. And they got a goose egg up there thus far today.
And it is a surprise. Again, they want to establish that running game, but with the lead this big, you're going to have to watch and see that John Elway will put the ball up more in the second half.
Now, what does it do? It has to pull you out of your game plan. I realize you still have half the game to play, but when Dan Reeves takes his ball club into the locker room, things have to change. He cannot continue to go with, per se, what he wanted to before they got to San Diego.
Well, I think both offensively and defensively, Denver will have to gamble a little bit more in the second half. Defensively, take more opportunities. Trying to pressure Fouts as much as possible. Send a few more people. And offensively, take some chances with the football.
wide receivers to the top of your screen. Elway. Now he's forced out of the pocket. He's going to take it upfield himself and go out of bounds at the 34-yard line with 12 ticks to play it here in the second quarter. Boy, the Charger defensive secondary. Wayne Davis, John Hendy, Gil Byrd, Jeff Dale. It's a very young defensive secondary, but they are distinguishing themselves thus far in the day.
Quite a few rookies in that defensive secondary, and they have been much maligned over the past several weeks, but they are doing the job today. In this situation, Denver's going to have to, of course, try to keep that one timeout left for a field goal if they need it. So you're going to look for John Elway to try to go to the sideline if possible and get out of bounds. If not, he's got to take the timeout and kick the field goal. There is time for 2 more plays if that's what he wants to do.
Good time for a blitz here, possibly? No, the Chargers are backing off of it. Elway. Look at that time. Now he throws. It is caught at the 19-yard line, and Gil Byrd dumps him out of bounds.
Well, there's the question now. What do you do if you're Dan Reeves? You kick the field goal? Apparently he is. He's going to go for it. He has a lot of faith in his defense, or in his offense, to go ahead and score points in the second half. Here's the play. Elway has all the time in the world. The reason they didn't blitz on this play, Phil, is because they wanted to zone the entire field. They'll give away Elway all the time. Just don't let this happen. That's what they did not want to happen. Allow a pass to be completed on the sideline. You see Gil Byrd looking up in disgust.
Of course, if you're a wide receiver, Jimmy, you would have much rather tried to run that play against a man-to-man.
Yes, of course.
37 yards away. Carlos 0 for 2. Make it 1 for 3 as time expires here at San Diego's Jack Murphy Stadium. Well, it has been all San Diego through the first 30 minutes of play. Jimmy Cephalo, we said at the outset of our telecast, the Charger offensive line would have to keep Rulon Jones out. They would have to keep Barney Chavis and Reuben Carter from getting to Dan Fouts.
Well, they have
fielded at the 10-yard line by Anderson. Flags are down as he dives out across the 29 near the 30. Well, if you're Dan Reeves, Jimmy Cephalo, what have you told your defensive unit? Obviously, what they were trying the first 30 minutes did not work.
Well, I think they've got to get pressure on Dan Fouts. That's going to be the key to the game in the second half. They may have to try blitzing a little bit more than they have in the first half.
Now the hold will be against San Diego, so push Fouts and company back inside their own 15-yard line. Gordon McCarter stepping it off, and the Chargers will put it in play from their own 13.
Holding number 53, receiving team during the return. 1st and 10.
Mike Gwendling, the guilty party. Gwendling, this is only his second day in uniform, and he was drafted a year ago. Out with a devastating knee injury. Gary Anderson hit at the line of scrimmage, stays on his feet, and moves across the 17-yard line. Mike Harton knocks him down.
Kind of an unusual play. It's just a short pitch coming one side and then breaking back on the other side of Dan Fouts. Very unusual. You see the offensive line trying to set up a wall for Gary Anderson. And look at that, already on the day, 76 yards as a running back. And they originally thought he might come here simply as a receiver, but he's proven that he can do both.
Second down and 5 now from the 18. Severs. He is near the first down. He'll be stopped about a yard short by Randy Robbins.
Number 48, Randy Robbins, with a tackle.
And one of the keys to the game thus far, again, has been the play of rookie tackle Jim Lachey. He's been doing a fairly good job against Rulon Jones. Here you see Jones trying to come to the outside. Lachey takes him on right at the line of scrimmage, and Jones puts that little spin move on. But once again, that pocket is staying formed very well for Dan Fouts.
The Broncos thus far, Jim, unable to do what the Raiders did so effectively last Monday, and that is collapse the pocket around Dan. But the Raiders did it the way it has to be done. You've got to come right up the middle and get in Dan's face, because he's not the most mobile of quarterbacks.
That's right. He's not going to flush himself out of the pocket a la John Elway. He's going to stand in the pocket, look downfield, and make his choice. If you can rush him from the front, from the middle, you can be effective against him.
You got to get in Fouts' face. 3rd down and less than 1. The Chargers 4 of 6 in the 3rd down department today. Clifford McGee has the first down. Now the Chargers really experimenting with that three-back offense. And the reason they went to it was because of the injury to Kellen Winslow.
Yeah, it is almost like a college team, you know. They use it on first down. They use it on third and short. Here you see Spencer going up the middle, a good blocker. Buford McGee following behind him. And again, those three running backs can do it all.
Wes Chandler right there on the bottom of your screen. He's picked up by Louis Wright, man on man. That's Lionel James in motion. Draw play. Gary Anderson, nothing but a sea of orange. Chavis and Reuben Carter. Now, as Bob Costas said a few moments ago, with the Raiders losing and losing badly at the Kingdom, 19-0. And Denver losing to the Chargers today. What we talked about at the outset, no team thus far this year in the AFC West has ever stood atop this division all alone. And if these scores hold, that'll certainly be the case when the sun sets tonight. Bounce with time again. Sievers holds on to the ball. The ball and Randy Robbins got the Sievers at the exact same time.
Now the Broncos rushed a few extra people on that play. They had a blitz going, man-to-man coverage down in the secondary, and Sievers once again gets open. Fouts loves his tight ends, and you try to put pressure on Dan Fouts by doing things like this, by running the games up the middle, throwing a couple more people in there, but he knows exactly what he wants to do with the football. The great thing about playing with people like Bob Greasy and like Dan Fouts is the fact that if you're open, they're going to get the ball to you.
Defensive backs for the Broncos, 4 down linemen. Chavis, Townsend, Carter, and Jones. And here they come. Fouts unloads in a hurry. Joyner has the ball. He tucked it away, protected the football, and then took a shot from Tony Lillard. In all your years following football, Jimmy, have you ever seen a better wide receiver at finding the seams in the zones than that man right there?
Oh, I don't think so, because he's maybe the bravest receiver I've seen in a long while. Nat Moore, you talk about bravery, is the same kind of a guy. But Charlie Joyner will find the seam, and finding the seam as a receiver means that you've got to have a lot of courage. They talk about having the heart of a wide receiver. Charlie Joyner has the heart of an offensive lineman.
Anderson tripped up at the line of scrimmage by Rulon Jones. Jim Ryan polished them off.
And again, they went to that full house backfield.
Now with the Broncos, it doesn't get any easier. Next week at Mile High Stadium, the 49ers come into town, and then these Chargers roll into Denver. And then the Broncos have to head for Los Angeles to play the Raiders. How about that schedule? Oh, my. We talked in the first quarter, there are no more breathers in this league. Play action to Anderson. Fouts with time. In and out of the hands of Timmy Spencer. Talk about the Broncos schedule. How about San Diego's next 5 games?
It doesn't get easier for them either. Of course, a week ago they played the Raiders. Today they played Denver. They go back at the Raiders. And now one more time at Denver. It's playing a home and away series. It's kind of like a baseball thing you did when you were in high school. Home and away.
Third down and 7. San Diego 6 of 8 in third down situations. Quick snap. Bounce. All the time in the world. Going deep for Chandler. And is it picked off? Yes, it is. Intercepted by Denver. Bounce on his back, being helped off the grass by Rulon Jones. Steve Wilson with the interception.
That time, Fouts did receive a lot of the pressure. They fake a blitz up front, and this time they didn't send more than 4 people. However, Rulon Jones gets through. Fouts is forced to deliver the ball earlier than he had thought, and Wes Chandler just did not get open on that pattern for him. Occasionally, you know, a receiver will be forced to play some defense. You know, the ball, once it's in the air, belongs to anybody. And on that case, Wes Chandler simply could not get back to the ball to try to deflect it, becoming the defensive player in that case.
Watson and Butch Johnson to the near side, and now Watson goes in motion. First and 10, Denver. They need some points. Play action Elway. Got his tight end running free, but he will not be able to get the ball away. Lyndon King with San Diego's first sack of the afternoon.
seemed like he had James Wright open in the right seam for just a minute or so, but it collapsed on him so quickly. And what a play by Lyndon King coming inside. He is kind of like that designated sacker as a linebacker for the Crew. And Elway really did not have time to pick out James Wright, who was open in the seam for a few minutes.
Elway playing today with that hyper-extended knee. He does not need an ankle injury to go along with that knee, and he almost got one there. Will Hyde and Sewell are the running backs from the shotgun. Chargers coming, and in a hurry. Oh, he's hit. The ball's in the air, knocked away by the San Diego defense. It has been a long time, Jimmy Cephalo. Fans around these parts have seen this Charger defensive unit play this well.
And what an exciting play. John Elway is an exciting player, regardless if it was complete or not. Look at Lee Williams. Now, this is what he's got to do. The Chargers have decided to go with just a 3- or 4-man rush. They're not blitzing. That means they've got a lot of people in the secondary to cover. And if they can get this kind of pressure from Lee Williams on John Elway, it'll be a very difficult time for them to try to come back in the football game, meaning the San Diego Chargers will be able to force Elway from the pocket while keeping everybody in the secondary to defense.
Fred Robinson almost got him. Earl Wilson almost nailed him. Lieutenant Danny Walters with the deflection. Elway, a third in a bunch. Now lets it fly. He has got Watson at the 50-yard line. And a flag is down. And you wonder what for.
It's a difficult thing to imagine what that might have been for. Could it have been a spearing call? In that kind of a situation, did not seem to be a face mask. It could have not been holding. We'll take a look at it. Watson is down on the field. That is his favorite pattern, by the way, coming across in that little square in route that they call it. Let's see if we can pick up what exactly the play might have been. Looks like he's hit fairly cleanly there. It is a face mask at the end. Look at
there. It is.
And again, an inadvertent face mask by King.
And Watson is still down out there.
5-yard face mask penalty. Knocked down from the end of the run, number 57 defense. 1st and 10.
As Jimmy said, an inadvertent face mask, so it is only a 5-yard penalty, not flagrant. Watson up walking off the field. Big play for this Bronco offense. Instead of facing a punting situation, Elway has given his Bronco offense new life. 1st and 10 at the San Diego 44. 9:35 to play, 3rd period. San Diego 17, Denver 3. A little screen. Winder's got it at the 40, the 37, and hammered out of bounds by Jeff Dale.
This becomes such an important drive for the Denver Broncos. A touchdown puts them right back into the football game. Here you see the middle screen being set up. The lineman actually led all of the defensive people into the backfield. That's a tough job for Elway because he's thinking, wait a minute, guys, let me get rid of this thing first. But Winder takes a hold of it, heads upfield, and gets close to enough yardage for a 1st down.
2nd down and 1 from the 35. It's a big series for this ball club, you know. Winder tries to get to the right side. Oh, he's got running room. Taking it in behind Billy Bryan and Paul Howard. 1st down near the San Diego 26-yard line.
A touchdown here, you're right, Phil, would put the position for the for the Denver Broncos into being, they can go back to the game plan. If they want to run the football, being down 7 points is not that difficult. Being down 14 is a whole new game.
This Denver Bronco offense has scored 30 or more points in 4 of its first 8 games. Where is that offense today? In motion is Butch Johnson. He has not been heard from yet today. Until now, that is. And he's out of bounds at the 16-yard line.
Number 86, Butch Johnson.
Yeah, they're now at halftime at the Kingdome. Can you believe that score after what the Raiders did last Monday?
It really is.
26-0. Raiders after their 6th win in a row. The Jets over Indianapolis. The Jets embarrassed by the Raiders in week 1 of this 85-86 season. San Francisco landed on the Eagles 21-3. Sid Gilman, where are you? The Rams 14, New Orleans nothing, 3rd period. Jack Murphy Stadium, 17-3, San Diego over Denver. Elway looking deep. It's up in the air, intended for Butch Johnson and overthrown. He had Danny Walters by a step, but it would have had to have been a perfectly thrown ball.
Would have, and he had some fine protection that time. He's a little mad at himself. He thought he should have been able to deliver the football. We thought earlier on that all of the movement that the Denver Broncos does might confuse the young San Diego Charger defense. That has not been the case thus far. But in this drive that played previously, you saw Butch Johnson going in motion, which confused the defense of the Chargers, and they come right back and throw the football to him. So it seems that maybe now at this point, some of the motion of the Denver Broncos is bothering the Charger defense.
Watson goes wide to the right, and he's one-on-one with Gilbert over there. You wonder if Elway can see it. He has got him one-on-one. They've got the running play called, and it is Sammy Winder. And he is wrapped up at the 13-yard line. John Hendy was singled up on Watson, and Elway didn't see it. Is that something as a wide receiver, Jimmy, you come back and you say, hey, John, I got to tell you something.
Well, you do a lot of things. First of all, you start screaming at him from the other side of the field saying, hey, look, they got one-on-one. Or you can bother the defensive back by saying, look, I got one-on-one coverage. Please let them throw the football to me. But you go back and you say, hey, I had the right coverage. Let's get me the football.
4 wide receivers for Denver on 3rd down and 7. Elway out to the flat. It's Will Height. He loses the football. To play 3rd period. Bounce with time. He's got Joyner. And you want to know why this offense has the football? It's because of the defense.
The defense played this extremely well. A good play by the Broncos. Will Height goes in motion. They flood that side of the zone. This is actually a pick. The 3 receivers on the right side clear the area out. You see the pick being performed. Will Height takes the ball. Looks like he's going to go into the end zone and would have made it, however, for the shoulder of that player who knocked the ball free. It seemed for a second as if Steve Watson had the best angle to the ball, but he didn't come up with it.
But the rookie out of Indiana State, Larry Bird University, Wayne Davis, came up with the errant ball. At the 41-yard line, Ken Woodard stops Gary Anderson. You know, so much is made. You were talking to me before the game about keeping Dan Fouts off the field. That has always been the key to beating the San Diego Chargers. Same can be said for John Elway. You've got to keep Elway and company off the playing field if you're going to beat this Bronco ball club.
You have to. Now, the Denver Bronco defense, and that's been their mainstay over the years, but Elway has brought this team a different dimension because of the strength of his arm.
On 2nd down and 8. Down. Mike Harden covering Charlie Joyner very, very well. Fouts is clapping his hands, and it's going to be called against the Broncos.
Personal foul, illegal head slap, number 61 defense. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Andre Townsend, the backup defensive end on the left side. Called for an illegal head slap.
That'll make your ears ring for a while, I'll tell you that. Fouts had very good protection that time. And you may be looking at a team that might be getting a little bit frustrated. And the head set up by Townsend might be an indication that there is some frustrating going on among the defensive front for the Broncos, trying to get to Dan Fouts.
When you talk about head slaps, the one guy who certainly distinguished himself in that department was Dick Butkus, the master of the head slap.
It was legal back then.
Yeah. Anderson, can he turn the corner? No, he cannot. Mike Harden shuts him down at the 42-yard line of Denver.
It seems that Dan Fouts loves to play against good quarterbacks. Over the years, he's played very well against people like Marino and against Montana. Today, take a look at it here. Elway completing 6% of his passes. Fouts a little bit better than that, but the yardage is what's important. And also, Fouts has thrown those 2 big touchdowns. Elway is yet to put that up on the board.
James, hold on a minute. Somebody's going to be called for pass interference. Is it offense or is it defense? I believe Woodard's going to be...
Pass interference. Number 52 on the defense. First and 10.
How in the world can Lionel James, at 5'7", play this game and play it so very, very well?
And this is the second catch of this caliber that he made today, jumping up and taking the ball away from a defender. Now, again, the shortest man in the NFL, but look at this. And Ken Woodard happens to be the best cover linebacker the Broncos have, but against Lionel James, he just didn't get the job done on that play.
3 seconds to play here at Jack Murphy Stadium in San Diego, California. What a ball game. San Diego 17, Denver 3. Here's that three-back offense, Gary Anderson. He dives across the 26 down inside the 25. A flag is down. What footwork from Anderson. 4:52 to play, third period. We pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC television network.
KOAA TV, channels 5 and 30, serving southern Colorado.
It's going to be against San Diego. Let's listen.
Illegal formation. Left side of offensive line, not up on the line of scrimmage. 5-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Yeah, there's two schools of thought there. You take the penalty and make it 1st and 15, or you take one more down away from Fouts.
Yeah, that's a toss-up at this point, the way he's playing today.
James and Anderson in the backfield, and Anderson heads in motion. There's the draw. Look at Lionel James. He gets outside to the 25-yard line and ahead to the 20, and here comes another flag. Another flag is down. Tony Lilly bucks James out of bounds. Oh, did he have some running room. Again, says Louis Wright.
Holding, number 40, offense during the run. 10-yard penalty from spot of foul. Repeat first down.
Anderson does it all. He catches passes. He runs with the football. However, if he's going to block anybody, he'd better keep those hands back inside.
You know, it's so important. You talk about Gary Anderson's versatility. You just about have to have that versatility now to survive in this league with that roster cut from 49 to 45.
It's a very important point. You're right. The more you can do today, the better your chances of remaining with an NFL team.
Bounce play action. Right down the middle. Wes Chandler has the ball, and he is down at the 18-yard line and slow getting up. Tony Lilly on the tackle.
Chandler is known as one of the best route runners in the entire NFL. Now watch him here. He comes inside, never straight up on the ball, always at an angle. Now he has a couple of people wondering, am I going this way up toward the goal line, or am I going to cross your face? Well, this time he faked like he was going to the post and came across the face there of the defensive back, making a nice catch going up in the air.
He's coming out of the ball game limping a bit. He'll be back. You can be sure of that. Charlie Joyner comes wide to the right. He is singled up on Louis Wright. Two of the great players in this league today. Fouts the give is to Buford McGee. There's the pitch. Lala Levere, Gary Anderson. Oh, can you believe the call?
The most amazing football plays I've ever seen. You got to talk about Don Coryell and innovation. They run an option play here. They give the ball out to Buford and pitches the ball to Anderson. And then the athletic ability of Anderson allows him to hurdle a player in midair. What a play. And you got to give credit there to Don Coryell and his offensive mind.
Bob Thomas tacks on the point after. Oh boy, Dan Reeves' Broncos are. You know what? Don't wait for next week to tune into NBC. Don't go away today. What a ball game we have here at Jack Murphy Stadium in San Diego. The Chargers laying it on. The Denver Broncos 24-3. Oshinko will let it fly. Oh, he gets his foot into this one. Down on one knee. Elway and company will now begin from their own 20-yard line. You know, just when you think you have this San Diego offense figured out, they throw something new at you. A veer, an option play?
What an unusual play. With that full house backfield, you know Don Coryell has a lot of wrinkles off of it. They tried it a week ago against the Los Angeles Raiders. The play went for a touchdown, but was called back because they said it was a forward pass, a forward pitch. But it has to keep the older players, the veterans, excited and ageless because they know that it's something new and exciting every single year for them.
Well, there is no question about that. We're set to go. 3 minutes, 10 seconds to play in the third period. Elway. He's got time. Now throws right over the middle. Winder has the football. Billy Ray Smith nailed Sammy.
Billy Ray Smith, the first-round draft choice a couple of years ago, of course, converted from a defensive end to a linebacker spot, has really becoming one of the better linebackers in the NFL. Take a look at him. He sets back into his drop and converges on the winder coming across the middle. The thing in this situation, the Broncos don't care about those little dump passes. That's not going to beat him at this point in the game.
Elway yelling at Watson to get over on the right side, and Steve obliges. Second down and 6 from the 24. Pass is complete again to Winder. And that big fumble recovery in the end zone a moment ago on the tackle. 2 Denver turnovers, Jimmy, have led directly to San Diego scores. The interception by Elway in the second period. The fumble in the end zone that took the touchdown off the board for Denver. San Diego takes it the length of the field and scores a touchdown. And that Gary Anderson option. Near side. Watson's got it. And he is rolled to the grass by Danny Walters.
Steve Watson has caught, as we said before, just one touchdown pass on the year, probably because they're trying to spread the ball out as much as possible. Here you see the strength of John Elway's arm. Not too many quarterbacks can throw that kind of a pattern because it has to be thrown on a line. A defensive back has a lot of time to react to it, but he has the strength of the arm, and a receiver such as Watson who runs such good move routes that they can complete that quite often.
Broncos came into this ball game today on a 4-game winning streak. Elway, look out! Carlos Bradley's nailed him.
Pass defender, and here the pressure is on. The one thing that the Chargers have done, as you see Bradley chasing Elway from the pocket, is they've increased the number of sacks over the past 4 weeks with the change from Dave Adolph now as the defensive coordinator. They want to put pressure on the quarterback, and that's exactly what they're doing to John Elway today.
Lyndon King and Carlos Bradley each with a sack of Elway today. Second down and 34.
With a position like 3rd and 34, you know, what can you do? They're going to zone the entire field. Elway has nobody to throw the ball to. He comes from all the way around the other side of the field to make the play.
And what is interesting, Jimmy, is Elway has gone down 3 times. All 3 times the charge has come from the weak side, Elway's blind side. There's a little screen. It is intercepted by San Diego. Billy Ray Smith has given the Chargers the football at the 15-yard line. And the third quarter is over. Fouts is on the way.
what you've got to think is what I'm teaching, or the changes I'm making, are they going to sink in eventually? With such a young defense, you've got to say that this is going to be a big confidence booster to those people in the secondary for the Chargers, as well as a young defensive line.
Jimmy, that's an excellent point. You talk about a confidence boost. The Chargers have to go out and play the Raiders right here a week from today. After what happened to San Diego Monday night in Los Angeles, Chargers needed this kind of an effort today against a very sound football team in the Denver Broncos. Buford McGee, he nears the 10-yard line, creases the 10, dives near the 9. Ken Woodard on the tackle. If it's not Lionel James and Gary Anderson, it's Tim Spencer and Buford McGee. If it's not Joyner and Ben Ross, it's Chandler and Trumaine Johnson. The offensive weaponry here is limitless.
It absolutely is. And the whole key to the game today was whether or not they could protect their fouls. And the line has done an excellent job today.
Full house backfield. Anderson, not much running room in near the 8-yard line. Everybody on that defensive line, Chavis, Carter, Rulon Jones in on the tackle.
You know, it's such an unusual offensive formation in the pro ranks, but they're utilizing Tim Spencer as a great blocker that he is. Watch the blocking formation coming up front. They keep those two people in the backfield coming up, forcing the hole for Gary Anderson, and it's worked very well today for them.
102 yards thus far on the day. And there's a timeout on the playing field with 13 minutes and 46 seconds to play. What a...
my backyard.
Chargers have the ball, 3rd down and 3. Fouts wants to put it in the air. He unloads. Holohan! Was he juggling? He was juggling going out of bounds, I believe. Randy Robbins, good coverage. Excellent call by the officials.
Now, Holohan again with those great hands of his, but he couldn't pull this one in. A good call by the official. It does seem like he was bobbling the football. Again, Dan Fouts enjoys going to his tight ends down here close to the end zone. Now, watch him. He goes up in the air. He's got one foot in, but he doesn't have them both as the ball is juggled back and forth. Too late to try it there, Pete. That's a little bit too late, but
he ran out of white shot. Foot down and 3, and it is Bob Thomas on. 26 yards away, he is perfect, but a yellow flag is on the playing field. Bob Thomas, second field goal of the day. I believe he'll have to try again, and he will. Clock stops, 13:37 to play in the ball game. Now, we talked at the outset of our telecast about how important it would be if the Chargers were to have a chance to win this ball game. It would have to come from the effort of the offensive line.
Holding, number 55 on the kicking team. 10-yard penalty. Repeat 4th down.
Gary Nelson, the guilty party. Speaking of that offensive line, I think they had something to prove here today, Jimmy, after what happened to that offensive line last Monday night in Los Angeles.
I think so, and you could probably look for them to play well again next week against the Raiders because of what happened to them a week ago against the Raiders in Los Angeles.
From 35 yards away, boy, Thomas has been on the money. He has been on the money. Clock is stopped. Take a look at that count. Trying to figure out when he can get out of town. The man on the right is chomping at the bit to get back in the Raiders' face 1 week from today. Chargers to kick it away. Mojinko lets it sail. It's Lang at the 3. He's across the 22, and Gary Nelson, what a job he has done today on special teams. In fact, talk about special teams. The Chargers' special teams today played very, very well.
They have played very well. Gary Nelson is the guy they rely on to get downfield and to make those big plays, and he's done the job this afternoon.
Take a look at that. Seattle pasting the L.A. Raiders 26-0. Things will certainly tighten up a bit here in the AFC West. The Jets doing a jig on the Colts' head, 35-10 fourth period. San Francisco beating Philadelphia 24-13. The Rams over the New Orleans Saints 21-7. Broncos need some points, and they need them in a hurry. Elway flush down. Cut from behind. Elway thought he could run another 10 yards, but Lyndon King, what a game the outside linebacker from the left side has played today.
Elway gets flushed onto the pocket on this play. He did have Sammy Winder downfield. It looked like he was open for a minute and thought about throwing the ball, but thought better of it, tucked it away. You know, John Elway happens to be the third leading rusher on this football team.
Or the linebacking core of the Chargers without the Sage. The Sage one, Woody Lowe, has played exceptionally well today. King, Green, Billy Ray Smith, Carlos Bradley. And that time it was Lyndon King in Elway's face, and his partner that lines up beside him, Mike Green, right on top of the intended receiver, Steve Sewell. This telecast is presented by authority of the NFL. It is intended solely for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Chargers and the NFL is prohibited. Well, it takes just a moment to thank our producer, David Neal, our director, Mark Warner, and our entire crew here at Jack Brookie Stadium in San Diego. Gentlemen, the pictures have been superb today. We thank you. Out of the shotgun, Elway. It's complete. Will Hite has it. This time he holds on at the 35-yard line. Again, number 57, Lyndon King. He has been all over the field today.
Yeah, at that time they try to isolate Will Hite against Lyndon King. And, of course, anytime you get a running back against a linebacker, it is a mismatch. Elway takes some time here. Will Hite actually has an option to break inside or outside. On that play, he saw the open area to the inside and picked up a first down.
Remember when he first came into the NFL out of San Jose State? Gerald Will Hite was famous for his back flips after the touchdown.
That's right.
First and 10 Broncos. Elway slips. Now lets it go. And he cannot hit Steve Watson. John Henry, the rookie out of Long Beach State. Oh, Elway very disgusted with himself.
And you know, he hasn't been playing that bad of a football game either. He has not had to put the big numbers up on the board, but his statistics aren't very bad. The thing is, he's thrown 2 interceptions, something he has not done the last few weeks, and is yet to throw a touchdown pass for quite a while.
You touched on it when we first got underway, Jimmy. Dan Reeves said to be effective against the Chargers, we've got to do what the Raiders did to San Diego last Monday. Run the ball right into their teeth. They've not done it today, coupled with the fact San Diego has taken Steve Watson away from Elway. Boy, John, a long time. He completes the pass, a flag is down, and rightfully so. Fred Robinson, a late shot on Elway. Fortunately, Elway dodged most of the hit. It's a good call.
Penalty flag on the field.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, number 90 on the defense, holding number 60 on the offense. Penalties offset, repeat the down.
See, that's something I don't agree with, Phil. In a case of that, when there's a play, when there's a possibility of damage to another player, when there's a personal foul, I simply don't think that offsetting penalty should be sufficient. A holding penalty versus a play where an individual might be injured because of a personal foul. Take a look at this. Here he comes, number 90 from that side of the screen. And in all respect, look how late that is. He's still after him long after the ball was thrown. But I don't agree. I think the team should be penalized regardless of the holding penalty.
I agree. 100%. Elway. Now he moves out to the left. Stops. Steps up. And now he's going down the sideline for Will Hite. And it's knocked away. An official knocked off his feet. Fortunately, the official is okay. Gilbert gets up. Everybody's okay. They'll come back and do it again.
Great transition from playing cornerback the first couple of years in the league to now being a safety. Elway, this play is designed for him to get out of the pockets, roll, to buy it a little bit more time. Here he is throwing downfield, reminiscent of the play earlier when he was trying to go to Will Hite when the ball was intercepted. Now watch the official if you can't hear. There he goes. He's tough, though. I'll tell you what. He bounces right back up and makes the call. He wanted to make that call.
That's the back judge, J.W. Sanders. Third down. shotgun. Elway. He's going down again. And this time it's a legal hit from Brett Robinson. Fourth sack by the Chargers today. Second by Freddie Robinson.
Robinson, of course, with that personal foul a little bit earlier in the same series, but this time he does it the legal way. He gets that slack, gets his arm under, and going straight for Elway. Elway looks like he has some time to step up, but he steps up into the portion of the pocket that is collapsing. Did not use his mobility on that play. Again, you have to wonder if that hyperextended knee isn't bothering him a little bit.
Chris Norman to kick it away. For that average today. Over 51 yards. This is a short punt. A fair catch at the 36-yard line. Miles McPherson. Clock stops. 10:42 to play. And then outside the stadium looking for a defense. Boy, they have found it this afternoon. 27-3 San Diego over the Denver Broncos. And while we have just a moment before Dan Fouts gets back on the field, I want to welcome our viewers in Australia. Network 10 is here in San Diego today, and our game is being fed via satellite to the land down under. The country that will relinquish the America's Cup come 1987. Tim Spencer around the right side, and he is bounced out of bounds by Tony Lillard.
They just have to stop feeding Vegemite to the American people that go over there.
At what?
Vegemite. That's the item, that bread spread that they give you in Australia. And if you have ever tasted it, Phil, you would never once again go back.
Vegemite.
Vegemite.
Something like something you trim your lawn with. Something they sell at 2:30 in the morning on TV. Anderson today, 17 carries, 102 yards. He's averaging 6 yards a carry. Denver's total rushing yardage, 59 yards. Fouts, quick release. It's Wes Chandler rolled under by Louis Wright.
That's complete to Wes Chandler.
Yeah, with Fouts' injury 5 weeks ago. The fact that he was out for 4 weeks, came back his first full game last Monday against Los Angeles. Are you a little surprised that Coriolis left him in with the situation on the scoreboard that it is?
No, I'm not. For the simple reason that Fouts is one of the greatest competitors this game has ever seen. And I don't think he wants to go out. He's having one of those days quarterbacks dream about. He doesn't want to leave it at this point in the game.
Fouts 20 of 29 for 265 yards and a couple of touchdowns. Here's Anderson. He gets through. Now did he get through that wall? There was nothing but orange jerseys, 5 of them at the 50-yard line. Anderson somehow sneaked through to the 44.
He is that slashing type of a runner. He's not very big, but he is extremely quick. Watch him here. It's the I formation. There you see Tim Spencer, a great blocker, going down. He has now hit the 100-yard mark, but a slashing rusher. Seaver is also with the key block on that play. Look at him here, taking the ball down. He pushes his man inside, blocks 2 people on the play. This is an inspired San Diego Charger team.
Of course, Denver will head home next week. 2 straight appearances at Mile High against the 49ers and these Chargers. Buford McGee. He turns the corner. He's near the 40. The ball is free. And I don't think anybody got it. The Chargers will retain possession. Clock stops with 9:06 left of the ball game.
Of course, they lost quite a few yards on that play. The ball bounces back, and it is marked where it goes. Watch, Gary Anderson on this play wipes out 2 people with his blocking ability. Here he comes. Look at that. 2 people he knocks down. Buford McGee, the ball is slapped out of there, and lucky enough for the San Diego Chargers and not for the Denver Broncos, the ball just slithers out of bounds.
Ricky Hundley and Randy Robbins, the 2 players taken out by that outstanding block from Anderson. The Chargers 6 of 10 in third down situations. They have it 3rd and 9 here. Joyner is in motion. He's the 3rd down man, but he is frozen at the line, and that causes Fouts to try and eke it out to the little train Lionel James. Ralph Moshenko is on with 9 minutes and 1 tick to play in the ball game. For Ralph Moshenko, only his 2nd punt of the day, his first of the second half. That tells you something about the effectiveness of this Charger offense. Vance Johnson at his own 10-yard line. He skies it. Oh, does he sky it? And it is into the end zone, a touchback for Moshenko. A 47-yard bunt. The Broncos will have the ball at their own 20. Chargers. There's the swing pass to Gene Lang. He's got it, moves out to the 25-yard line. Billy Ray Smith. Few years.
Well, over the past few years, they have been down the bottom, 27th, 25th, 26th, and 26th in total defense in the NFL. 28th coming in today's game, but they're a completely different club this afternoon.
Elway rifles a shot to Steve Watson. For Watson, his 4th catch of the afternoon. He has 82 yards on the afternoon. A first down. Gilbert and Danny Walters on the tackle.
Watson, a fine wide receiver. 3 of the last 4 seasons, he's gone over the 1,000-yard mark and may not get that 1,000 yards this year because of the fact that they are spreading the ball out quite a bit. A name we haven't heard very much today. How about Vance Johnson? There's somebody. Gary Kubiak is now in the game, by the way, for the Denver Broncos.
Yeah, Elway has called it a day. There's a little inside handoff. That's the rookie out of Oklahoma, Steve Sewell. He turns the corner, doesn't get much. Across the 45-yard line and out of bounds. Now Elway is out of the ball game. Fouts has remained in. Gary Kubiak has come on. And, of course, Elway has left for different reasons. He's got that gimpy knee.
Yes, he has. Dan Reeves has said earlier he wanted to try and keep John Elway healthy to go down the stretch drive. But with a lead such as this, a 27-3 lead, it's no wonder that they've gone to Gary Kubiak.
He's got it. Sewell has the football. And he fights off Jeffrey Dale, and he'll take it all the way. The Broncos, their first touchdown of the afternoon. And it comes with 7:26 to play.
So the first-round draft choice, who has been seeing more and more playing time the last couple of weeks. Watch it here. It's a short pass play from Kubiak. He hits him in the flat. It looks like he was working on number 50, the linebacker for the Chargers. Breaks a couple of tackles and gets down the sideline. He's got great speed. They like him both as a receiver. In fact, more of a receiver than as a running back.
Kubiak had thrown 1 pass this year. It was complete, a 7-yard gain. Now he's 2 for 2. His longest of the year, now 54 yards. Carlos is on the point after. Kubiak's hold. Rich nails it. A whole lot of time left in this ball game. 7:26 to be exact. The onside kick, and rightfully so. The Broncos have to get something going. They need 17 points just to tie this ball game. Chris Norman, who is normally the punter, will kick it, and it is an onside jobber. It's in the air. Who's got the football? The Broncos have the ball at the 46-yard line, and hold on, there's a flag down at the 35. And I think the vicinity where that flag is down, Jimmy, they're going to get whistled for offsides.
Yeah, that's usually the call. If the flag is in that area of the field, it has to be offsides.
So Carl Mecklenburg, who recovered the live football.
Kicking team, 5-yard penalty, re-kick.
They'll have to re-kick it. Watch the very top of your screen. You can't break that plane. And there he is.
Oh, and that is ever so close, though. He's just got his arm over the line of scrimmage. Of course, that doesn't matter. That means he's offsides.
Don Coryell, a man who is in a must-win mode if he's going to hang on to his job.
Well, you know, coming into this season, they said they wanted to go 8-8. If you look at this team, you think it's an experienced team because of a Dan Fouts and because of a Kellen Winslow and a Wes Chandler. But when you really look at it, there are 19 of the 45 people on this team that are different from a year ago. 8 different starters, so they are a young club. And he has been such a great innovator in the game. You would think that with the defense maybe starting to turn around, that he'll be here for a while longer.
And to amplify what you just said, to go along with those changes, the Chargers have had 27 roster changes this year because of injuries. Norman will try it again. And the Chargers say they have it.
But there's another flag down on the field. Can you imagine?
On the field.
Chargers say they have it. And they're pretty confident about it. Or San Diego will nullify the offsides.
Offside, number 25 on the kicking team. Penalty decline.
First down, San Diego. Danny Walters covered that live ball.
Now, this one's a little bit easier, but is it the same player that was in this position before? If so, I would hate to be him on Monday when they go and watch the films. I think it is. Oh, boy, it's by a full yard this time. And Dan Reeves will not be a happy man, regardless of the fact that the ball was not recovered by the Denver Broncos.
First down, Chargers. Fouts is still in the ballgame. Gary Anderson. Jimmy, I have to be honest about it. I really question the wisdom of leaving Dan Fouts in this ballgame at this stage. Always risk the possibility of getting hit. A busted play where he has to cover a loose ball, getting pounced on. And for what reason?
Well, before I wouldn't agree with you, but now with nearly 7 minutes left to go in the game, I have to agree. They're going to run the football here. They're not going to take any chances and throw the ball up in the air. So Dan Fouts will not have the opportunity to do what he likes to do, and that's throw the ball.
So much for that. Yeah. Anderson has the pass. He's at the 29-yard line and cap him there.
Well, there goes that idea, Phil.
I think it is a fair assumption to say Don Shula will not be calling you to work with his defensive line.
No, I don't think so either. Here's the play. Fouts coming back, dropping back, and Anderson has done well all day long, coming out of the backfield, running with the football. He takes the ball upfield, and again, he's so dangerous after he gets it. He's that slashing type runner. It doesn't seem like he can be tackled in an open field by one player.
What a day Gary Anderson has had. His best day in the NFL. Flags are down. Rich Humphrey, pulling guard on the left side, got up just a split second too soon.
Ball start, left guard offense.
Yeah, well, let's update you on all the scores around the
Ball
NFL
start,
AFC West.
left guard offense.
It is Seattle over the Raiders 33-3. Boy, what a ball game Charlie Jones and Merlin Olsen are seeing up at the Kingdom. The Jets leading the Indianapolis Colts 35-17. San Francisco over Philadelphia 24-13. Boy, Philadelphia come into that ball game with 4 straight victories. The Rams over the New Orleans Saints 21-7. That game now in the 4th period. And here in San Diego it's 27-10 Chargers. 5:34 to play. Anderson's got it. And he doesn't get anything. Jim Ryan on the tackle. First time Gary Anderson has been stopped for a loss today.
Now, he's a tough guy to stop for a loss because of the difficulty in trying to tackle him one-on-one. It takes a gang tackle to get Gary Anderson on the ground.
How do you figure this game of football, Jimmy? Denver, a week ago at Arrowhead, rushed for over 200 yards. Today, against the worst defense in the league, they have but 64 yards on the ground.
I guarantee you that's exactly what Dan Reeves has been thinking about for the last quarter and will be thinking about until next Sunday.
Bass wants to put it up again on 2nd down and 22. Sideline at Severs. Not much. Ryan's there. And so is Rick Hundley.
Pass complete.
Now the Niners winning today. The Broncos losing this afternoon. 4:35 to play. Those two teams will lock horns a week from today at Mile High.
It should be a fine football game. Take a look at that. 5-4. Both teams that played in the Super Bowl a year ago are both 5-4. The Miami Dolphins losing this afternoon. And, of course, the 49ers winning today, upping their record to 5-4. Who would have thought it a couple of months ago?
You know, when I think of the Patriots and the Dolphins, outstanding games they played, the one that comes to mind 2 years ago, that famous snowblower game at Foxborough.
I've got a story I'll tell you about in just a second.
Flags down, Fouts, Hassel. He lets the ball go. Wes Chandler has it, and he is knocked off his feet at the 14-yard line. And I believe the flag is going to be encroachment against the Broncos.
Well, Fouts does a smart thing there. You know, when the ball is gone and you know that it's going to be against the defense, let it fly. Might as well go downfield with it.
22 yards on the pass play.
Offside, number 79 defense, penalty decline, first down.
Bernie Kenny Sheamus, the one that's being called for being offside. Now, Fouts realizes this. Why throw it short? Why dump it down? Might as well go ahead downfield. There you see Wes Chandler going down, working against Louis Wright, breaking down across. Louis Wright falls down, but they get a big play out of it. If it's intercepted, the ball comes back, and they get a 5-yard tacked on. Smart play by Dan Fouts.
Chandler set an NFL record 3 years ago, averaging 129 yards a game. When he's healthy, he is a game breaker. And this will be another game breaker. Gary Anderson to the 2-yard line.
Gary Anderson has simply done it all day long today. Tim Spencer leading him around the corner along with Lachey. Cutting upfield, he really goes untouched until he hits about the 8-yard line, falls forward to the 2, and if they score here, the ball game will simply be all but over.
Anderson has been with the Chargers for the last 5 games since coming over from the United States Football League, and folks around San Diego have been wondering, where is this phenom? Where is this guy that everybody's been talking about? Well, there's Sin where he is today. First and goal. First man through, Tim Spencer shut down. Mike Harden, Tom Jackson on the stop. As you come in with the kind of credentials that Gary Anderson had in the USFL, everybody immediately said, this is another Gale Sayers. This is Sayers in a Charger uniform. It's a heck of a name to live up to.
It is. It's very unfair to someone like Gary Anderson. The fact that him coming here to a San Diego team that has such a complicated offense, you have to applaud the way that Don Coryell has worked him along, and now it seems like he's come of age and is ready to really contribute to the Charger offense over the rest of the season.
The Chargers almost 400 yards in total offense. Buford McGee, and he doesn't get in either.
And off to Buford McGee. In on the stop.
So the Chargers on 3rd down.
And there's a lot of pride with that Denver defensive front. Here they are down by a few touchdowns with just 2 minutes left in the game. But that doesn't matter. They're simply going to stop Buford McGee from going over the top. Look at that surge by the defense of the Denver Broncos.
We have reached a 2-minute warning. I erred a minute ago. The Chargers have 458 yards of offense, and they want more. So you'll be doing sports along with Connie Chen.
Yes, I'll be beginning that show on November the 18th, and 6 a.m. in a lot of parts of the country, 6:30 other places. But I've got to be there about 3:30 in the morning, so my social life in New York City will not be extremely happy, I guess.
The way I compute it, you're going to be going to bed right around dinner time.
Yeah, so if I want to go out to dinner, I'll say, hey, how about 5 o'clock? How does that sound?
The Chargers with the ball. 3rd down and goal from inside the 1. Again, look at that 3-back formation. Anderson. Did he make it? There's no hands in the air. They're saying he's down. And I guarantee if he's down, the nose of that ball is going to be right there. And Coryell's bringing Bob Thomas on. And if I'm the offensive line, I'm real disgusted with that.
Yeah, I would be too. But, you know, you have to think about it from Coryell's standpoint. What do? You can't go for the touchdown. It seems to be milking it by putting a field goal on the board, but you don't want to just sit down with the ball with a minute and a half left in the game. You got to give credit to that Denver Bronco defense. They could have just given up, but they won't.
They'll be back next Sunday on Mile High. You can be sure of that. Thomas 2 for 2 today. Make it 3 for 3 on the year now. Thomas 9 for 12. A minute 9 to play. 7 games around the regions here on NBC Sports. Cleveland and Cincinnati, Pittsburgh, Kansas City, Seattle, New Orleans, Indianapolis, and New England. And then later in the day, how about these matchups? Houston and Buffalo, the Jets at the Orange Bowl, and the Raiders travel to Jack Murphy Stadium to play the Chargers. From 7 yards deep, the Broncos will be content to bring it out and go from the 20-yard line. And Kubiak is coming on. John Elway has called it a day. A minute 9 seconds to play at Jack Murphy Stadium. The Chargers 30. And Jimmy, you were right on at the outset of our telecast when you said if the Chargers are going to be a force in this ball game today, it would have to start up front, both offensively and defensively.
That's right, and the offensive line should be applauded for the San Diego Chargers. Jim Lachey, Ed White, Don Masek, Dennis McKnight, Sam Clappin, Eric Severs. They've done an excellent job in protecting Dan Fouts.
Kubiak out of the shotgun. In and out of the hands of Gerald Wilhite.
Kubiak, pass incomplete, intended for number 47, Gerald Wilhite.
Lee Williams, Earl Wilson, and Fred Robinson have been in the Denver quarterback space all day.
And Lee Williams has done a fine job today in pressuring the Denver quarterbacks all the time. Watch him come in here. He spins it. He finally gets to Kubiak and says, hello, how are you today? Why don't you have a seat for a while? The game's almost over.
Second down and 10. Kubiak again overthrows Wilhite. And he had talked about why don't we have a seat for a minute. The game's almost over. A couple of years ago when Fred White was a member of this, Fred Dean was a member of this Charger defensive unit. I asked him, I said, Fred, why don't you ever help a quarterback up after you knock him down? He said, Phil, I helped them get down. They can help themselves get up.
That's a good point.
You were talking a moment ago about that snowblower game back in '82 when you were a member of the Dolphins at New England.
Yeah, it's a game I'd rather forget. It was 3-0. We lost the game. With about 5 seconds to go, I dropped a touchdown pass in the end zone. And again, it contributed to my retirement at an early age.
Vance Johnson. What's going on? Vance Johnson was 5 yards across the line of scrimmage.
But he could do that. You see, that's the whole point. He can go downfield and come back.
Nobody from San Diego jumped. Now, had a defensive lineman jumped, it would have been offside, ruled against the Denver Broncos. Now, let's listen.
Offside, encroachment, contact foul, offense. 5-yard penalty, still third down.
Now, this is an odd business. Where in the world are you going? But, well, you know, put it this way. If you're going to be offsides, you might as well be offsides, you know. Forget about this moving a finger or a hand. You might as well go downfield for a while, touch somebody, and then come back.
Yeah, that was Vance Johnson, the rookie out of Arizona State, and I know the Sun Devils don't teach it that way over there. The executive producer of NBC Sports is Michael Wiseman. The coordinating producer of football, Ted Nathanson. Today's game produced by David Neal, directed by Mark Warren. Kubiak, he lets it go in and out of the hands of the man who likes to run free. Assuming the score in Seattle and the score here in San Diego stays the way they are, this is the situation heading to Week 10. Things are tightening up in the AFC West.
They are tightening up, and now you look, if you're a San Diego Charger fan, you got to think that you're not out of it at this point in time. Kansas City, though, at 3-6, are going to have to win some football games if they plan on going to the playoffs.
Chris Norman. He lets it go. And nobody back at all for San Diego. Inside the 35-yard line, clock still running, 43, 42. And it's down there with 40 seconds to play. The Charger offense is coming back out. And it will take the field without Dan Fouts. 55-yard punt. There's the final. New England over Miami, 17-13. What a game next week, Miami and the Jets. Pittsburgh over Cleveland 10-9. The Browns led that game until the last 10 seconds. Washington down Atlanta. Troubles continue for David Henning. Chicago over Green Bay. The Packers led that game most of the way. Houston over Kansas City. John Makovic, look out. Minnesota down the Lions by 3. Mark Herman down on a knee, and the Broncos call a timeout. Why?
Well, you know, you grow up in this sport thinking you never give up, and it just follows you right until the end of a football game, regardless.
35 seconds to play. The Chargers have the ball, second down and 13. Fouts left the game 23 of 34, 302 yards. We'll be back. And they'll meet again 2 weeks from today at Mile High. And you got to believe Dan Reeves wants another shot at the guys in lightning bolts.
He certainly does, and it'll probably be a little bit close.